Hello, white people. I had an interesting customer come into where I work yesterday, and she is from Jordan. She's not Jordanian, she is Kurdish. And so she has a house in Jordan, but she's been living in the United States for almost 30 years. In Ohio, of all weird places. Why do these people come to Ohio? It's so freaking weird. Anyway, so she's a translator for Catholic Charities. And, Catholic Charities is run by a bunch of conversos. And they're the ones that are bringing in all the shitholers. So she was telling me that most of the people they're bringing in right now are Afghanis. And they have them housed in some sort of government building. And all these people are on the 13th floor. They occupy the entire 13th floor. And there are immigration offices in that building. So I don't know. We also talked about Syria, and I posed a question to her. I said, why are they emptying out these countries? She was surprised. She didn't have an answer for that. And we talked a little bit about, like what we'd seen on TV and what we know, and one of the things that I told her is that, they're bringing all these people in to dilute white people like me, because white people always fight back. Brown and black people, you just give them something shiny and they'll say, oh, okay, I'll do whatever you want. And she looked at me in the things that come out of my mouth, just perfect strangers. And she shook her head in agreement. She agreed 100%. She knows. Anyway, so I'm wondering, why are they emptying out these countries? Are they actually emptying out Afghanistan and Syria, and for what reason? I couldn't find any answers. I don't know if maybe there was some sort of really strange things going on, like CERN and portals and trying to bring in creatures from another dimension, or, we do know that there are creatures in other dimensions, but do they have to have an entire country to bring them through portals, or, so that they're like in physical form like we are? How does that exactly work? And does that even exist? I don't know. But I found this interesting article crying about Afghanistan. What does the girls' education ban in Afghanistan mean for the world? And this is written by somebody, I don't know the origin of this name, Shabnam Nassimi, probably Iranian, Iraqi. In Afghanistan, most schools closed as the country fell to the Taliban. The country didn't fall to the Taliban. It was handed over to them. An ultra-conservative Sunni Muslim and mostly ethnic Pashtun armed group in August 2021. Over the last 10 months, they gradually opened for boys of all ages, but girls over the age of 11 have been home since. Alright, so today marks the 286th day since the Taliban banned teenage girls from school. Millions of girls in Afghanistan are imprisoned at home, making it the only country in the world that bans girls' education. Well, what is education anyway? We all know that it's indoctrination. What do you need to know? I mean, there's history, there's reading, there's writing. Nah, they don't teach you that shit. They teach you what to think. They tell you how to think, what to think, so that you're a zombie. So maybe whoever these group of people are that are banning girls from going to school are protecting something. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It's truly heartbreaking to hear the West now say the women of Afghanistan are not our problem anymore. You were there for 20 years. The women and girls were your partners. You asked them to stick their neck out and dream big. You funded, sponsored, and invested in them. You backed them. Probably because the opium trade was very lucrative and there was money to stay in that country. But now that people are being denied narcotics, synthetic narcotics, is the opium trade dwindling. So a country usually falls because of opium. Am I right? Am I wrong? They British did that to China and got people addicted. They're probably behind the United States having so many people addicted. But Are there really that many people addicted? Statistically, it's only 1%. And right now, my mom, she's in a nursing home. She had a fall, and she didn't fracture anything, but her just her back hurts, and she's having a hard time walking. And she's got, if you're new to this channel, my mom has stage 4 lung cancer with metastases to her bones, and her pelvis was one area where she had metastases, and so she had radiation. She's doing the chemotherapy pills completely against my will. She has no immune system and chronic bladder infections now, where she never had that problem before. But anyway, so she's in a nursing home, and she's taking narcotics for her pain. And she was telling me that her pain is so bad that those narcotics are her lifeline. But you know what she was concerned about? She was concerned about becoming addicted. And when I was a nurse, years and years and years ago, I remember there was a guy who was paralyzed from middle of his chest down, who was on heavy narcotics, who was concerned about becoming a drug addict. He was bedridden. He needed 2 people to get him out of bed. He needed somebody to help him with his activities of daily living. He was completely dependent, and he was worried about becoming a drug addict. So I asked my mother, I said, Mom, are you concerned about living in a ditch and drooling? She said yes. So statistically, only 1% of the population becomes addicted to narcotics. Addiction means that they use the narcotics to feel good mentally, not really to alleviate pain. And I've worked in drug and alcohol addiction, and every single one of those people, they have pain issues. And if you've ever had severe pain from an accident like I have, pain, you have anxiety about pain, and you clutch onto your pain pills like it's going to save your life. But and if, as a side note, I don't have an addiction problem, but if I have pain, I take Tylenol or ibuprofen. Try not to take too much of that organ burning out bullshit. But anyway, so back to the question. Was Afghanistan handed back to the Taliban because the drug trade is no longer lucrative, or the opium trade is no longer lucrative? Interesting, huh? But this article is about getting women educated, and I knew somebody years and years ago who grew up in the Middle East, and their mother could not read or write, and the kids taught her how to read and write. And this gal, she told me, she said, once they educated the women, they were able to control the population. See, women are the backbone of society. Once you corrupt women, you corrupt the society. And then anyway, back to this article. So it says here that, this is hilarious. It says the stakes are extremely high. The denial of education violates human rights of women and girls. Really? Beyond their equal right to education, it leaves them more exposed to violence, poverty, and exploitation. I think that's a cultural thing. Violence, poverty, and exploitation. No education for girls means more malnutrition. How is that possible when people have been able to produce food before massive education? More hunger. Again, how is that even possible? More early pregnancies. More early pregnancies, huh? Okay. More forced marriages. Are prearranged marriages normal in that culture? So, is this saying that if they don't get educated by Western, or get a Western education, then they're going to deny their culture? No education means no future financial freedom. Oh, finances, there you go. Follow the money. If you need to answer any questions, always follow the money. It's always about money. They're trying to get these people to think that, you know, it's gluttonous. When women went back to work, when women got into the workforce, it destroyed families, and it destroyed the West. It destroyed America. Because I know somebody who was, my friend's dad was working when women started into the workforce. I don't know how many years ago, 40, 50 years ago. And he said that he saw men dumping their wives and running off with women who had jobs, no children, no responsibilities, 2 incomes. All right, so I'm drifting off too far from this. So who benefits from people being greedy, wanting to earn money and buy shit they don't need, and ignore their family? Well, the chosen utopians, or the chosenites in their utopia. A country like Afghanistan faces 2 challenges. The first is banning teenage girls from receiving an education, and the second challenge is that parents are discouraged from sending their girls to school because of the lack of female teachers and secure campuses. All right, so as a parent, looking back, I was very firm about the type of people that my son was allowed to be around, and I really wish that I would have been more strict the older he got. All the kids that he hung around in school, they were great kids, and they all went on to have healthy, productive lives. But when he got into college, I guess after they turn 18, I just don't like the girlfriend he has. I'm unhappy about that, but that's another story. The Taliban have also banned literacy classes in homes and banned women from teaching in religious schools located in mosques. This move poses a significant threat to civil society groups and NGOs aiming to deliver educational projects for girls in Afghanistan. Oh, darn it. Oh, darn it. Civil society groups and NGOs, it's a threat to them. Like a microaggression. Yep. When you pull back the curtain, you'll always find a nose. This is why it is essential for the international community to press on this issue in line with democratic and human rights principles, the hook-nosed utopia, and contrary to some countries like Russia and China, which are intent on appeasing the Taliban and challenging the values the international community painstakingly foster around the world. UNICEF estimates that 129 million girls are not in school worldwide, including 32 million of primary age and 97 million of secondary age. The agency has found that investment in girls' education leads to higher national growth rates. Growth of what? Lower rates of child marriage and child mortality. Lower maternal mortality and increased lifetime earnings for women. Oh, there you go, money. Just gotta get them right in the gluttony. It's very clear that the Taliban are afraid of educated women and girls. Afraid of educated women and girls. Wow, that's petty. If you have an educated mother, her sons won't go to madrasas, religious schools, to be brainwashed. Educated women undercut the power of the Taliban, who just want to breed future generations of jihadists. What is a jihadist anyway? A jihadist is anybody who resists the narrative, I guess. We're told that jihadists are bad. Are they really bad? In Afghanistan, like in most conflict zones around the world, it's women and girls who are shouldering the heaviest burden. The UK's recent record in addressing girls' education and that of marginalized children in the world's poorest countries has rightly gained considerable praise and respect. We must not destroy our reputation now. Oh boy, there's always that same group sticking their nose in everybody's business, telling them that they gotta live the utopia. And it's destroyed us. And they say that Afghanistan is a developing nation. Developing into what? Maybe they've developed as far as they can develop. Just gotta figure out how to get the Chosenites to leave us alone. Alright, white people, that's the damage for now. Thank you so much for listening. I look forward to your thoughts below.